Today I'm going to take you through how I plan my meals at the start of every day so that I stay within my calories, so I achieve the goal weight that I want, get the right amount of macronutrients so I get the body composition I want, and max out my micronutrients so I feel good all day and my hunger hormones are in check. It's important to plan your meals because when you're winging it throughout the day, it's going to be easier to prioritize convenience. Let's say when you come home after a long day at work, and that's when the snacks can sneak into your diet and ruin all your progress. So we're in Chronometer, and this is the food tracker that I use because it tracks all of your micronutrients, and we know how important micronutrients are. So the first thing I like to do is to put in the supplements that I'm currently taking. So the supplements that I'm currently using are zinc, a couple of electrolyte tablets, and 4 capsules of fish oil. So zinc is important because it regulates our hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, and it's critical for testosterone production. If you're low on zinc, you're going to feel weirdly hungry even after you've eaten a meal. You have worse sleep quality, and we know how important sleep is when you're going through a transformation. And you recover slower. And since we've been sleeping for 8 hours, and me personally, I stop eating and drinking at 7 p.m. the night before, I'm going to be dehydrated. So it's important for me to get electrolytes because sodium drives water into the cells and of course prevents dehydration. Now fish oil helps with insulin sensitivity and inflammation, and essentially what we're doing is improving how nutrients are handled before food even enters our system. So that's that for supplements. The first thing that I'll have a couple hours after I wake up, so I'll be having water, I'll have my electrolytes. After that, I'll actually have a coffee. I should probably have it black, but I just bought this instant one from the shop and I like it. Normally black coffee would be 0 calories, this is going to be 100. But the reason I drink coffee is for appetite suppression and I get mental clarity with low calories. Now the first meal we're having is 6 eggs, tomatoes, spinach, and half a bell pepper. Eggs are of course a complete protein, highly bioavailable, suppresses hunger. Ideally, we want to get protein in as quickly as possible. I like to delay my eating a little bit, but of course, eggs are very high in protein, which is going to help with satiety as well. A lot of people online suggest protein shakes, but if we're in a deficit and that means we're lower on calories, we need to manage our hunger hormones. Protein shakes just don't do that. Just those supplements and that first meal with 6 eggs has ticked off 56% of our micronutrient target. Protein shakes can't do that. Spinach is good for magnesium, folate, potassium, and good fiber with minimal calories. Peppers are good for vitamin C, but also adds volume. And this is going to be important when we're on a diet because we want to eat more food for less calories. Tomatoes improve digestion, but the main reason I have tomatoes is for good skin. I keep carbs out of my first meal because it keeps your insulin low. In turn, that helps with hunger. So on Sundays, I train in the middle of my day and I only really have carbs around my training. So to load up on those carbs, I'll have some rice and tuna. Tuna is going to be very light, but very high protein and virtually 0 fat. And the rice is going to be the carbs to fuel our training. White rice is easy to digest and it's good fuel. So I'll have that meal a couple hours before I train. But 45 minutes before I train, just to make sure I train really well, I'll top up a little bit on carbs, and this particular cereal is very high in fiber. So as you can see, we've only had 3 meals and we're already 81% of all micronutrient targets. Now the reason we have carbs after training is to replenish the muscle glycogen that we've just lost from training so hard. Sweet potato is extremely high on the satiety index, which means it's going to help us to stay full. And it's going to reduce the likelihood that we have any sort of late night cravings. It's also very potassium rich. Beef also has very good micronutrients, iron, B12, zinc, and of course, very good protein. So we're currently on 1,774 calories out of 2,500. We're almost there for protein. Carbs, we've got a lot of room to work with, which is good. And we're already 91% of the way for perfect micronutrients. So for the last meal, I usually have my Ninja Creamy. I've got a ton of videos on my Instagram, so check that out. But the last meal is where I like to have a lot of my hedonic foods, the stuff like the Oreo cookies, the biscuits. And since we had a lot of carbs to work with and we were very close to hitting our protein anyway, this just prevents the binge behavior. So actually including these foods into your diet in an intelligent way is just going to make sticking to a diet plan that much easier. So we're currently on 96%. So vitamins are currently 99% and minerals currently 100%. You could literally leave it right there, but we actually have a little bit more carbs to work with. So I'm actually going to increase the sweet potato amount just by 50 grams. And honestly, that's about as good as we're going to get it. 97% on all targets, but for being in a deficit only on 2,500 calories, this is almost perfect. We stayed within our calories, we hit our protein goal, we stayed within our carbs, and we stayed within our fats while getting 99% on vitamins and 100% on minerals. And I know it might be overwhelming having to think about this and research why you're eating certain foods. So if you don't even want to have to think about doing a meal plan, a workout plan, or anything else involved in your transformation, I have a link in the description where you can book a short call with me and we'll see if you qualify for the Soldier Serum. I hope you enjoyed, got some value. Peace.